What's up guys, and welcome back once again to Dasset Reviews Tech. Today I'm checking out a new monitor from Koorui. It's the G2411P 200Hz monitor from them with an IPS screen. So thank you to them for sending this over. So I'm basically going to unbox this, show you what it looks like, show you what you get with it. It'll just be the usual cables probably, and then we'll plug it in and we'll do some testing and see how well it performs and see what it's like. Now I did a previous one of these. I did another 24-inch that they did, which was a VA screen I believe with 175 Hz, and was absolutely blown away by the quality of it. It was such a low price. I'm not sure what the price is on this one. I'll leave a link in the description below for you to have a look at, or I might put it up on the screen if I remember to. But they do budget monitors, but they're generally very good for what you pay for them. So stick with me, let's have a look at this monitor. Right, here we have the monitor. This is the Koorui G2411P, lovely name, but obviously this is the model name. This is a 24-inch IPS display, so from Koorui, and in the box there's not a lot to talk about, but you don't get much in most monitor boxes. So you get a HDMI cable, always nice to include one, and you get a power supply and obviously an instruction manual as well. Obviously the stand comes detached, but you just clip that on, no screws, anything like that, just clip it back, clip it straight on. Really easy to do, no problems whatsoever. So yeah, this is the 2411P by Koorui. I'll just show you a quick bit around the monitor itself. So you've got a pretty much frameless screen here. There's literally no bezel whatsoever, well, the tiniest amount. So it's sort of edge-to-edge screen. Obviously you've got the bezel at the bottom, which you get on all monitors pretty much. So that's that. Around the back, it's pretty much the same design as the last one I did. Got a bit of a red accent there. There's no RGB or anything like that, but like I say, this is sort of a budget-oriented monitor, but personally I don't see the point of putting RGB on the back of a monitor. You don't see it, so it's not a problem to me if you ask me. Like I say, the stand clips in the back here, and then that clips to the base at the bottom down here. In terms of, I don't think I'm about to show you on the screen, but in terms of the I/O, we've got two HDMIs, HDMI 1 and 2, we've got DisplayPort, we've got audio out, and we've got the DC in for the power, so everything you need. So let's talk a little bit about the specs. So I'm just going to go through my specs list to make sure I don't miss anything on this, and it's just easier for me to tell you the specs I've got directly from Koorui, so I don't get anything wrong and you've got all the specs you need to know. And then obviously we'll get it plugged in, we'll see what it's like, we'll do a little bit of testing, we'll do a little bit of gaming, and we'll see how we get on. So the basic info for this, like I say, it's the G2411P, which is the model, and this is it's a 24-inch monitor, but it's 23.8 inch because you never get the full amount generally anyway. Full HD IPS display with HDR 400. So crisp immersive visuals with wide viewing angles, enhanced contrast, perfect for both entertainment and productivity, so yeah, that's fair enough. Refresh rate's 200 Hz on this, which is really good with a 1 millisecond MPRT response time, so should be very good for gaming, and obviously it's going to do well for productivity and editing, all that kind of stuff. With it being IPS, you're going to get a really good colour clarity in terms of accuracy, that type of thing. IPS panels are generally used for people that do like photo editing and things like that because the colours are more true. And obviously with IPS you get wider viewing angles than you would with a VA or a TN panel. At the bottom under here, oh, that's some power light. Where's the joystick? So at the bottom under here you've got a power light. On the back here, I'll see if you can see it. We've got a 5-way joystick, so obviously go into all your menus and stuff like that to change any settings you need to change. We've got that there as well, so it's nice and easy. It is on the back of the monitor, what most of them are, or underneath, so it shouldn't be too hard to get hold of, obviously depending on where your monitor is placed. But yeah, I mean obviously some of the more expensive monitors you can do it through your operating system, but again it's a budget monitor and you can't really expect that from a budget monitor, but it's pretty much standard to have a sort of joystick of some sort to navigate your way around the menus. In terms of the brightness, we've got 350 nits, hardware low blue light, yeah, fair enough. Clear display in bright conditions, reduce eye strain, that's a kind of a standard thing, but the brightness doesn't seem too bad. Ports I've already told you about, 2 HDMIs and 1 DisplayPort, obviously, and the audio as well. ergonomic stand. So in terms of the stand, there's no swivel or anything like that, but it has got tilt. As you can see, it tilts a little bit. Let me just put it on its side so you can see a little bit better. Excuse any of the mess in the background. So it has got a decent amount of tilt, probably like, I don't know, if like 5 degrees front and then maybe like 15 degrees back. So it's got adjustable. There's no height adjustment on this one, but it's pretty much at a standard monitor height, but obviously you can always get a monitor arm or something like that if you need to adjust it even further. Seamless connection with PCs, consoles and laptops, so yeah, obviously it's going to work with gaming consoles and things like that as well, and obviously it'll be very good for gaming consoles with having the IPS display and the 200Hz, and obviously the really good response time. Going back to the colour accuracy, it's rated at DCI-P3, 89%, so decent colour accuracy there. Again, going to be good for your content creation, your video editing, photo editing, that kind of thing, colour correction, all that kind of stuff. Should be absolutely perfect for that. So that's pretty much all the specs I've talked about. What we're going to do is we're going to get it plugged in. We're going to show you a bit of what it can do, put some games on it, and yeah, basically show you how it moves, things like that, how the motion is, all that kind of stuff. Excuse the noise outside, there's vans and stuff going past. But yeah, so we're gonna do some testing on this now, get it plugged in, and we'll see how it goes. Right, so we've got the screen on, and as you can see, it's looking absolutely beautiful. I have to say, just on this Windows desktop background that I've got on at the moment, the colours are absolutely lovely. Hopefully I can make that out on camera. The camera's, I think, shooting in 4K, so it hopefully should make it out. But yeah, absolutely lovely. Really good colours on that. To me, that really pops and looks really nice. So I'm really happy with that. Let's just have a quick look at the motion on it. So obviously it's 200Hz, doing a decent job of that. Obviously you're going to get some sort of ghosting and stuff like that, but yeah, it's buttery smooth, really nice. Feels really good there. What we're going to do first is quickly take you through the OSD, the on-screen display. Hopefully you can see that in the corner down here. So you get a little box up here, and it gives you your menus. So if I go up, then I get to change between my inputs, and then we'll go back to the menu again. Right is going to be your brightness, contrast, and your DCR. Confirm that. He says. Return from that, and then if we go left, we've got the actual monitor. The actual sort of monitor setup here. So we've got game mode at the top here, so we'll set FreeSync up on that for sure, because we're running on a 7900 XTX from AMD, so that should be no problem whatsoever. So we'll have FreeSync on. We've got dark field, bright effects, response time is at normal. Obviously you can change it to fast and fastest. You can put a crosshair on the screen for your gaming if you want to cheat. And then we've got a timer which will be turning off after no activity, and you can see at the top here, hopefully you might just be able to make that out. It says DP 1920 by 1080, 200Hz, FreeSync on, HDR off. So we'll try and get HDR on as well. Then you've got brightness contrast ratios, you can do it in there as well. You've got display. We'll set it to auto and we'll see if we can get that on in Windows. And you've got your sharpness and your gamma. I generally don't mess around with that. Let's just have a quick look at the different colour profiles. So you've got your standard, you've got warm, cool. You can definitely, I didn't see much of a change between the standard and the warm, but between the cool you can definitely see that. I personally don't like that. And then you've got your user preference as well, but I personally prefer the standard. It looks more vibrant. And then obviously you've got input again on there, so you've got automatic input, so it should detect the automatic input as well. And then also we've got scenario mode, so we can have changing the settings may increase OSD menu, may increase power. So we've got standard on, we can go to FPS. That sort of seems to dim the colours down and make them a little bit, I don't know, really hard to say that, but hopefully you can see the difference on that. We've got an RPG, we've got RCG. What's RCG mean? Not sure. RCG, that looks a lot brighter to me. We've got movie, that goes a little bit dimmer. We've got iSaver, which is obviously going to be a blue light thing as well. Obviously you can tell the difference there, hopefully. Ebook mode, I don't know what that does. That goes black and white. Oh wow, that's a nice little mode to have. So if you're doing a lot of reading, you can put it in ebook mode. It's obviously going to help your eyes a little bit. You've got your sRGB mode, and then you've got your DCI-P3, which is probably what you're going to use for your sort of content creation and photo editing, that kind of stuff, video editing. So I'm going to go and put it back on FPS mode, because that's probably what I'm going to be doing on this today. Just have a look. Let's go back down. Then we've got settings, the last one, which is your language, shortcut key. I'm not sure what that does. I assume that's one of the keys for the joystick on the back. Volume. I assume that's going to be the audio output on the back, because as far as I'm aware there's no speakers in this. And then information, we've got everything we need to know on there. So that is pretty much it, I believe. Let's return from there. Let's just see if we can get HDR on, which hopefully we can. Turn HDR on. HDR is now on, I believe, so let's quickly check that in the menu, and you can see now we've got HDR on. Hopefully you can see it. Probably can't see that because it's quite a little bit far away. It's not the biggest, but yeah, so we've got HDR on now, so we'll have a look at that. Let's get some gaming done, see how it looks in games. What I'm going to do is open up Dying Light 2, because why not? It's a great game, and hopefully should show off some my god, I can't speak, some visuals really nicely. But yeah, let's get this started up and see what happens. A little bit of a change of plan. I've not got Dying Light 2 installed, so we're going to look at a bit of Resident Evil 2 not remastered, the remake. Let's turn that light off a little bit so you can see a little bit better. First of all, I'm just on the menu, obviously, so visuals look fine at the moment. Let's just do a continue, see where we're at. I'm not even sure what part I'm at on this game, to be honest with you. So yeah, we can have a quick look at what's going off with here. Obviously it is HDR, but it not being obviously backlight zones. What the hell's happened here? If we're not being backlight zones, then obviously we're going to struggle to see real darkness on this. So yeah, just bear that in mind. If I remember how to play this game. So coming up to the first zombie, the visuals are stunning, to be honest with you. It looks absolutely fantastic. I've got no issues with this whatsoever. Looking really nice. Clarity is absolutely fantastic. Let me just turn the screen so you can see the viewing angle as well. Viewing angle is brilliant, not an issue there at all. Obviously, this being an edge-lit display, it's not going to be the most amazing for HDR, but to be honest with you, it still looks absolutely great. So I'm just going to have a quick run around here, see what goes off around here. Zombie's probably going to come through this window. Let's just stop him for doing that. And then we're going to go up here as well. And this is obviously, it's a particularly dark game, so this is going to give you an idea of what's going off in terms of the contrast on this and everything as well. But yeah, personally, so far, looking absolutely great. Can't complain at all with this. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. I think this looks really good. Like I say, for a budget monitor, you can't complain at this at all. I'm not going to pick those because I've got unlimited ammo on. But yeah, so far so good. Really nice with that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick some sort of something on YouTube that's got a lot of colours in it, so you can sort of appreciate what's going off in terms of the quality of the colour reproduction and things like that as well. So I'm just putting this on. Obviously this monitor is not capable of 4K, which this is recording. It's a 1080p monitor, but let's just quickly show you some of the colour reproduction on this. And obviously now this gives you a good idea of the contrast between the blacks on it, and obviously it isn't a OLED or anything like that. It's not backlit, it's edge lit on this screen, but it's actually still doing a very good job of reproducing these colours, and that looks absolutely stunning. Look at the colours on that. Hopefully you can see that really well on the camera, but personally I am very impressed by the quality of this screen. Really nice. The colours are incredible on it. To me that looks perfect to what I would expect it to look like. Obviously this is an LG demo. Let's have a quick look, see if there's anything else. Just another quick look, just to really show this off. There we go. So we've got another demo video just playing. This one's 55 minutes long. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. You can see there is some sort of, it is washed out a little bit in places, but things like this looks absolutely beautiful. Really nice. And again, obviously this is created for like 8K, and this is a 1080p monitor, but personally I think it's doing a very good job. Really do. You've got a little bit of hazing in some of the dark areas here, but personally, when you're like gaming or doing photo editing and things like that, honestly I think this looks absolutely incredible. Really impressed with the quality of this picture. So I think that gives you a good idea of what the colour representation is on this. the colours absolutely pop in this monitor. Really, really impressed. I'm definitely going to use this as a second monitor somewhere if I can find space for it. But yeah, really, really impressed with that. So now, last of all, let's move on to sort of a monitor test, so we can see how it performs there as well. So we've got hopefully you can make this out quite well. I hope so anyway. Obviously on camera it doesn't always come out as well as I hope it would. But you can see there we're doing sort of response time. This is running at 480 pixels per second at the moment. Let's just speed that up and we'll see what we're getting there. It is going to be hard for yourself, so I don't have the expensive equipment to test this, but you can definitely, we've got, what are we on now? I don't even know. It doesn't actually tell me. Yes, it does. 1950 pixels per second, and there is definitely some ghosting behind it, some blurring behind the image, which is to be expected, but it is doing a decent job. I think when we get right up the top, you are going to notice a lot of blurring, but rarely things, especially gaming and stuff like that, move that fast. But generally, I'm really impressed. You can see a little bit of ghost on the outer edge of these. Let's just put some red on. See if you see much happen to that. Personally, I think that's doing a fantastic job. Again, we need to consider the price of this monitor and how cheap it is, how inexpensive it is. What I'm going to do is just run this video whilst I just talk to you about a few extra specs that I didn't actually realise because it wasn't in my spec sheet. So I mentioned the DCI-P3 colour range, but it's also 99% of the sRGB, and like I say, it is a fast IPS screen as well with HDR 400. So I just wanted to make sure that's known as well. It's one thing I didn't show you again when I showed you the actual monitor in terms of the physical bit of the monitor is its VESA standard as well. It's 100 by 100 or 75 by 75, so it will fit pretty much any monitor bracket as well. So yeah, it's set up to go, and I'm actually blown away by this, to be honest with you. Doing a really, really good job. So yeah, what I'm going to do is one last little test. I'm going to find a game that's a little bit more colourful than Resident Evil, because obviously that's very, very dark. So my last test I'm just going to do is I'm just going to run Time Spy on 3D Mark, just to give you another sort of view at the sort of gaming performance of this, and so you can see how well it's going. We're currently running at 188 frames per second. It is 1080p, so it's running really smooth, looking really, really nice. The contrast between the darks and the lights is really, really good. Detail is absolutely fantastic in this. It is, like I say, it's a full HD monitor, so it's obviously not going to be as good as a 4K monitor or anything like that, but in this size screen I feel full HD is absolutely perfect and absolutely fine. You don't really need any more in this screen, but yeah, looking absolutely fantastic. So let's basically go back up top and have a little talk about it, and I'll talk a bit more about my thoughts on it. So there we have the Koorui G2411P full HD 200Hz monitor, doing an absolutely fantastic job. You can see it's still playing away in the background, so you can see it running and see how well it is. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. IPS screen, 200Hz, 89% DCI-P3, 99% sRGB, absolutely fantastic. As you can see in my performance testing, I've not done absolutely loads because you don't need to watch out loads of recordings, I don't think. But I've tried to give you a wide variety of tests for this, so you can see how well it performs for gaming. Obviously it is also good for content creation and things like that, photo editing, or even office work and stuff like that. It's going to be absolutely fantastic for, and the IPS screen is absolutely beautiful. You saw the colour reproduction that I showed you on the little, it was a 4K test, but obviously it looks absolutely beautiful on this. The colours are absolutely amazing. Really, really impressed by this monitor. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to tell you the price now, actually, because I've just decided to look it up rather than putting just a link in the description. Obviously I'll do that as well, but currently on Amazon here in the UK it is £89.99 British pounds, which is an absolute bargain for a monitor of this caliber in terms of the specifications of it and everything like that. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot fault that at all. £90 for a 200Hz full HD IPS screen with a 1 millisecond response. You can't grumble at that, to be honest with you. Looks absolutely brilliant. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you were looking at buying this monitor, I hope this clarifies a few things for you and you can see whether it's worth getting. Personally, I'd say yeah, definitely go ahead and get it if you're looking at this monitor already and was undecided of what to do or anything like that. Obviously, you now know the specs of it and everything like that as well, rather than just reading them on the internet. You can see how well it performs as well. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and leave me any comments in the comment section below. If you have any questions, I will try and answer them for you, or I will contact Koorui and try and get the answers for you if I can. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.